You have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this and you will find strength. Marcus Aurelius. We cannot control external events, but we have immense power over how we choose to perceive and respond to them. The key is to focus our mental faculties inward, rather than constantly reacting to external happenings. When we master our own thoughts and judgments, we access an inner fortress of wisdom and stability that external chaotic events cannot shake. This realization gives us profound strength and liberation. 1. Awareness. Awareness of our inner world is the foundation of self-mastery. So often we operate on autopilot, reacting to events and allowing our thoughts, feelings, and habits to control us. It takes intentional effort to step back, observe ourselves impartially, and understand the complex workings of the mind. Begin by setting the intention each day to pay closer attention, to catch yourself when judgmental labels arise, and to notice when anger or fear start to take hold. Don't criticize yourself for what you find, simply accept and note the patterns. Over time, this witnessing self will strengthen, allowing you to see your own biases more clearly. Learn to pause before reacting, creating space to consider your emotions and deepest values. Ask yourself, why do I feel this way? What do I truly want in this situation? This builds self-insight and self-regulation. It also cultivates equanimity, facing each moment openly without getting entangled in negativity. The more we shine this inner light of awareness, the less we identify with each passing thought and feeling. They become like clouds, arising and dissipating in the clear sky of consciousness. We gain perspective, seeing we have a choice in how to respond, thus reclaiming our mental freedom. With patient self-observation, the chatter begins to quiet, revealing our innate wisdom and serenity. 2. Thought monitoring. Our thoughts wield tremendous power over our lives. As Epictetus stated, it is not events themselves that disturb people, but their judgments about them. Negative, irrational, and anxious thinking generates stress, while rational, balanced thoughts create emotional calm. By monitoring our thought patterns, we can transform our relationship to life's inevitable ups and downs. Start by paying close attention to your self-talk throughout the day. When judgmental or pessimistic monologues arise, pause and ask yourself if these thoughts serve your well-being or highest values. Thoughts often become so habitual that we mistake their warped perspectives for absolute truth. Yet, as Marcus Aurelius wrote, you have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this and you will find strength. Skillfully challenge thoughts that breed fear or suffering. If you feel overwhelmed by life's pace, is that anxiety truly justified or only an old mental script? If you lambast yourself for a minor mistake, would a friend berate you thusly? Replace harsh inner critics with the wise, kind mentor you deserve. Channel your mental energy into reasonable plans rather than regret about the unchangeable past. Dwelling on errors often springs from pride. We imagine we should have godlike control. Accept that all people err, while focusing efforts on future growth. As Seneca said, every new beginning comes from some other beginning's end. Consciously nurture thoughts aligned with truth and dignity, those that engender compassion, equanimity, and integrity. Our reasoning minds are unfinished works. Through self-mastery, we sculpt ourselves. Sweat the small stuff of each minute, crafting patiently to reveal life's hidden glory. The more we monitor our minds, the more awe we discover. 3. Emotional regulation. Emotional regulation is the cornerstone of mental well-being, influencing how we navigate the highs and lows of life. It entails the ability to recognize, understand, and effectively manage our emotions in various situations. By mastering emotional regulation techniques, individuals can cultivate greater resilience, enhance interpersonal relationships, and improve their overall quality of life. One powerful technique for emotional regulation is deep breathing. When we experience intense emotions such as anger, anxiety, or sadness, our breathing often becomes shallow and rapid. Deep breathing exercises, also known as diaphragmatic or belly breathing, involve inhaling slowly and deeply through the nose, allowing the breath to expand the abdomen and exhaling fully through the mouth. This practice triggers the body's relaxation response, reducing the activation of the sympathetic nervous system, responsible for the fight or flight response, and promoting a sense of calmness and relaxation. Regular deep breathing exercises can help individuals regain control over their emotional state during stressful situations, enabling them to respond with greater clarity and composure. Another effective technique for emotional regulation is meditation. Meditation encompasses a variety of practices aimed at cultivating mindfulness, focus, and inner peace. Mindfulness. Meditation in particular involves bringing non-judgmental awareness to the present moment, including one's thoughts, emotions, bodily sensations, and surrounding environment. Through consistent practice, individuals learn to observe their emotions without becoming overwhelmed or reactive. They develop the capacity to acknowledge and accept their feelings without necessarily being controlled by them. This increased self-awareness and equanimity allow individuals to respond to challenging situations with greater insight and emotional balance. Cognitive reappraisal is a cognitive behavioral technique that involves reframing or reinterpreting the meaning of a given situation to alter its emotional impact. Instead of automatically accepting negative or distressing interpretations of events, individuals can consciously challenge and restructure their thoughts to adopt a more balanced and adaptive perspective. For example, if faced with a setback or failure, rather than viewing it as a personal flaw or insurmountable obstacle, one can choose to see it as an opportunity for growth and learning. By shifting their cognitive appraisal, individuals can modulate their emotional response, experiencing less distress and more resilience in the face of adversity. Overall, mastering emotional regulation techniques such as deep breathing, meditation, and cognitive reappraisal empowers individuals to navigate life's challenges with greater emotional intelligence and resilience. By learning to manage their emotions effectively, individuals can cultivate a sense of inner calm, respond to situations with clarity and composure, and foster healthier relationships with themselves and others. As with any skill, consistent practice and patience are key to unlocking the transformative potential of emotional regulation techniques for enhancing overall well-being and life satisfaction. 4. Focus and concentration. The ability to concentrate intently is essential for achieving excellence in virtually any domain, yet few skills have become so embattled in the digital age. Technologies relentlessly vie to hijack our attention, bombarding us with stimuli and nudging us towards distraction. Reclaiming command over our focus is thus among the most imperative goals on the path of self-mastery. A multitude of concentration-building practices offer gateways to this restored sovereignty. Methods range from mindfulness meditation to yogic pranayama, tai chi visualization exercises, and working memory strengthening games. Yet at their core lies this singular paramount commitment: training the mind to remain collectedly present with chosen objects for sustained periods without forgetfulness or intrusion. In meditation, one may concentrate on the breath, noting subtle sensations with laser-like bare attention. As thoughts inevitably arise, one gently returns focus to the breath, building concentration and stamina. Alternatively, objects of focus include mantras, visualizations, or perfectly ordinary activities conducted with granular awareness. The delicious complexity of tasting each raisin in a small box or exploring every tactile nuance as water slides across the hands. Athletes find that entering flow states through games of skill develops unprecedented focus. By repeatedly yoking attention to an object of concentration, whether for 5 minutes or 5 hours, neural pathways strengthen, making future attentiveness progressively easier. It is helpful to begin with brief periods, even moments, many times a day. Too lengthy practice without adequate skill causes fatigue and frustration rather than increased capability. Be patient, for learning to concentrate is akin to weight training. Progress follows incremental efforts spread across weeks and months. With concerted training, the wavering mind grows tremendously still and pliant. Attention abides effortlessly, and alert awareness saturates reality's living textures. Such one-pointed integration initiates a positive feedback loop. Concentration fuels inspiration and joy, which further feed motivation. In this harvest season of maturity, life becomes forever fresh, a perpetual realm of discovery swimming in eternal first sight. Our heritage is reclaimed, and we devote this gift to crafting beauty. 5. Goal setting. The human experience is one of perpetual becoming, of sculpting and molding our lives through the power of choice. As Epictetus declared, "Do not ask things to happen as you wish, but wish them to happen as they do happen, and your life will go smoothly." Rather than rail against the vicissitudes of fate, we must cast clearly defined visions for ourselves, embrace reality's constraints, and persistently labor towards their manifestation. Begin by articulating your goals and the deeper longings they represent with clarity and courage. Draft a personal mission statement, elucidating your core values and life purpose. Identify specific, measurable objectives across spheres like relationships, self-development, service, and adventure. Ensure these aims harmonize rather than conflict, for inner discord torpedoes progress. With goals clarified, map backwards to reverse engineer a flexible strategy for their achievement. Break intimidating feats like writing books or pioneering startups into bite-sized increments requiring mere hours of toil. Measure ongoing action, not arbitrary outcomes. Arm yourself with systems and routines to ensure regular effort. Plot reachable daily and weekly targets to tangibly close the gap as months drift by. Absorb useful knowledge, seize opportunities through consistent attempts, and forge growth through repetition. Greet inevitable setbacks as information, occasions for creative response, not despair. The magic lies not in ambitious fantasizing about desired futures, but in tending to each humble moment as we plod the long road. As Seneca counseled, divide your hopes into short periods. The longest day will come to an end. In the same way, some limit ought to be set on one's suffering. 6. Mindful decision-making. Navigating life's relentless parade of choices is among the greatest trials of the human condition. Impulse pushes us to rush decisions based on immediate gratification, self-interest, or social pressure. Yet yielding thoughtlessly to these forces often brings future regret, undermining integrity for oneself and others. The art of decision-making thus relies on patience, on examining motives and options from a stance of wise reflection before committing words or deeds we cannot retract. When faced with a dilemma, consciously pause rather than follow a habitual reaction. Creating space to consider what really matters diffuses emotional charge clouding judgment. Investigate the branching paths ahead through detached curiosity about causes, correlations, and possible turns of fortune. Research historical precedent and gather counsel if available. As options clarify, weigh them against your values, envisioning potential scenarios months and years beyond the present fork. How might each affect long-term goals, relationships, and personal evolution? Does it align with who you wish to become? Every choice steers the trajectory, however subtly. Often, hidden factors outweigh the obvious pros and cons. Finally, integrate this diligence into intuition's wisdom before settling on a commitment. Consider perspectives beyond your own, weighing ethical consequences, community ties, and duties embraced. Not all choices maximize personal benefit. Synthesize rationally and emotionally with patience. Right paths often arrive as sense without trail. Having nurtured insight, irrevocably act with conviction's full force. Through such methodical presence, decision-making becomes less anguished and more aligned with truth. Each crossroad, sculpting self and world incrementally toward beauty, reveals life's hidden unity. 7. Self-compassion. Self-compassion is a fundamental aspect of emotional well-being and resilience, yet it is often overlooked or undervalued in our society. It involves extending kindness, understanding, and support to oneself, particularly during times of difficulty, failure, or suffering. Rather than being self-critical or judgmental, individuals with self-compassion treat themselves with the same care and empathy they would offer to a close friend or loved one. This practice not only fosters greater psychological health and happiness, but also enhances one's ability to cope with life's challenges and setbacks. At the heart of self-compassion lies the recognition of our shared humanity, the understanding that imperfection, struggle, and suffering are inherent aspects of the human experience. When faced with difficulties or failures, individuals often internalize feelings of shame, inadequacy, or unworthiness, believing they are alone in their struggles. Self-compassion counters this tendency by reminding us that suffering is a universal experience and that it is natural and human to encounter obstacles and setbacks along life's journey. One key component of self-compassion is self-kindness, the ability to treat oneself with warmth, gentleness, and understanding, especially during times of distress. Instead of berating ourselves for our perceived shortcomings or mistakes, self-kindness encourages us to respond with kindness and encouragement, offering ourselves the same comfort and reassurance we would offer to a friend in need. This compassionate self-talk can help alleviate feelings of self-criticism and cultivate a greater sense of self-worth and acceptance. Another aspect of self-compassion is mindfulness, the practice of bringing non-judgmental awareness to our thoughts, emotions, and experiences in the present moment. Mindfulness allows us to observe our inner experiences without becoming entangled in self-critical or self-defeating narratives. By cultivating mindfulness, individuals can develop a greater sense of perspective and equanimity, enabling them to navigate challenges with greater clarity and resilience. Self-compassion also involves recognizing and validating one's own emotions and experiences rather than dismissing or suppressing them. This validation acknowledges the validity of our feelings and allows us to respond to them with kindness and understanding. Rather than denying or minimizing our pain, self-compassion encourages us to acknowledge our suffering with openness and compassion, fostering emotional healing and growth. Research has demonstrated the numerous benefits of self-compassion for mental health and well-being. Individuals high in self-compassion tend to experience lower levels of anxiety, depression, and stress, as well as higher levels of life satisfaction and resilience. They are better able to cope with setbacks and failures, bounce back more quickly from adversity, and maintain a positive outlook on life. Additionally, self-compassionate individuals tend to have healthier interpersonal relationships as they are more understanding, supportive, and forgiving towards both themselves and others. 8. Healthy habits. Our minds do not exist in isolation. They are profoundly intertwined with the body. When the vehicle of the body falters from neglect, the mind's journey becomes profoundly hindered. Cultivating basic, healthy lifestyle habits is thus an essential foundation for mental self-mastery. These simple yet vital practices grant the energy needed for the rigorous work of transformation while optimizing biological processes that stabilize mood and concentration. Make consistent sleep a non-negotiable priority. Turn electronic devices off well before bedtime. Establish a soothing pre-sleep routine, and keep the bedroom cool and dark so the nervous system eases into deep restoration. Develop exercise habits starting small, perhaps walking outside several times a week, then gradually increasing duration and intensity according to changing capabilities. Even modest movement has massive mood benefits. Bring mindfulness to your eating habits, favoring whole, fresh foods over heavily processed fare. Limit sugar that crashes energy levels. Stay well hydrated and take digestive breaks between meals. Supplement with targeted nutraceuticals as needed for resilience. Omega oils reduce inflammation, while magnesium, B vitamins, and medicinal mushrooms buffer stress reactions. Finally, intersperse pleasurable recreation amid other obligations. Build downtime into each day for hobbies, nature immersion, and social connection. Practice relaxing fully rather than constantly chasing achievement. Protect extended periods for rest and renewal through vacation. Such common-sense lifestyle measures enormously compound mental willpower gained through other interventions. The consummate controller of the mind holistically nurtures the vehicle that supports awakened consciousness. Discipline applied to biology liberates energies for the creative joys of sustained focus. We flourish through balanced exertion. 9. Continuous learning. I continue to learn as long as I continue to live. Seneca. Each day presents fresh invitations to understand the world and ourselves more profoundly. Approach life as a student, curious and open to surprise about even mundane routines. Catalog and research things unfamiliar to expand perspective. Recall foundational principles already learned to be leveraged as mental models in understanding novel phenomena. Tap teachers and mentors who inspire emulation through the contagion of their enthusiasm. Additionally, examine personal experience closely for insight through constant reflection. Keep a daily journal to process events and consolidate lessons and anomalies. Repeat worthwhile but uncomfortable experiences to expand the thresholds of capability. Seek roles that expose missing skill sets critical for personal goals. Another essential aspect of continuous learning is the cultivation of a growth-oriented mindset. This involves challenging limiting beliefs and reframing negative self-talk to foster a more positive and empowering mindset. Rather than viewing failures or setbacks as evidence of personal inadequacy, individuals with a growth mindset see them as opportunities to learn, adapt, and persevere. They approach learning with a sense of optimism and resilience, knowing that their efforts and persistence will ultimately lead to growth and success. Finally, nurture resilience and grit to weather the inevitable learning challenges as you push boundaries. View failures and setbacks as data gathering about the invisible topography of real-world systems, not as causes for dejection. Each iteration brings you closer to magnificence. Foster detached non-attachment to specific outcomes while pursuing excellence vigorously. 10. Gratitude practice. Gratitude is the secret doorway from the scarcity of the ego to the abundance of spirit. Rather than chasing external validation, gratitude turns attention to life's overlooked gifts already present. Even amid great hardship, there are always reasons for thanks. The laughter of friends, the colors of an autumn leaf, if only we pause to notice them. By consciously practicing gratitude, perspective widens and generosity grows. Keep a daily gratitude journal to catalog blessings experienced throughout the day, however routine or mundane. Thank the barista for handing you your morning coffee, the reliable technology that eases communication, and the ground itself for supporting every step. Appreciate small graces, a warm bed, favorite songs, pets snuggled nearby. Such little joy notes nourish resilience when crisis inevitably strikes. Express thanks directly to people providing value. Let loved ones know specifically why you appreciate them. Send follow-up notes after meetings to acknowledge useful advice. Though simple, such gestures rapidly build profound bonds. Gratitude multiplies joy through exchange. Finally, move gratitude into action by giving to others. Recognize kindness, mentor those following behind you, and support causes working for a better world. No one achieves alone. Each of us stands on the shoulders of teachers and mentors. Channel your fortune into creating opportunities you enjoy for those still struggling. Gratitude awakens us from the scarcity trance of self-concern, revealing just how much has been given. The present overflows with gifts if we train our eyes to notice them. Even amid immense loss, there is always something to be grateful for, if only this moment's breath. From gratitude to compassion. From compassion comes joy. From moment to moment, we can choose to steer ourselves in the direction of wisdom, self-mastery, and service to others. The journey requires persistence, courage, and compassion toward ourselves and others. But with concerted effort, our consciousness expands beyond limiting self-centric patterns into liberation and vision unconfined. I hope you found insight in these passages useful for your own growth. Don't forget to like and subscribe if you'd enjoy more content about living the good life.